Long ago in the mystical hills of eastern Nigeria, where the wind carried secrets through the Iroko trees, and the rivers hummed lullabies to the moon, lay the secluded village of Adu. Adu was the kind of place where ancestors still spoke in dreams, where spirits lingered behind doorways, and where every home bore the marks of ancient protection charms, drawn in chalk and ash. In this village lived a little girl named Adana, born under the crescent moon, with skin like deep earth and eyes as reflective as the river's surface. Her mother Nega was a revived herbalist and spiritual seer, known for healing not just ailments of the body but afflictions of the soul. People traveled from neighboring villages just to receive a calabash of her healing power or whispered prayer. But the spirits are rarely quiet for long. When Adana was just 8, a sickness came, not one that crept in slowly like malaria or typhoid, but one that struck with unnatural speed. Within 3 days, Nega once vibrant body grew cold. Her death was unlike the others. The elders whispered that she had been claimed. Some said she had angered the spirits with her powers. Others believed she had exchanged her life to protect someone else, but no one dared to speak it out loud. Adana was left an orphan. Her tears never dried, and her voice grew quiet like the embers after rain. After her mother's burial, the village elders passed Adana to Mama Ifeoma, a woman known for her bitterness and superstition. She was Nega's distant cousin, but far from kind. Her home sat at the edge of the village near the dark forest, where whispers were loudest at night and the wind sometimes laughed like a woman. Mama Ifeoma didn't believe in raising spirit children. She made Adana sweep, cook, fetch firewood from the forest, and sleep on a reed mat near the goats. "Your mother played with forces no one understood," she often hissed. "You better not bring her demons here." Adana endured the cruelty in silence. But the forest called to her. One evening, while gathering firewood, she followed a flickering light deeper into the woods. It wasn't fire. It moved like it had a mind of its own. She emerged in a clearing she had never seen before, though she had walked those woods many times. In the center stood an old woman, skin wrinkled like old leather, but her eyes, golden and unblinking, were not of this world. "You've come late," the woman said in a voice like 1,000 winds, "but the path still welcomes you, child of Neka." "Who are you?" Adana asked, her voice barely a whisper. "I am called Aje by some. To others, I'm simply the one that listens when the world does not." In her hand, Aje held an Iroko leaf-shaped pendant. Adana gasped. Her mother had always worn it. "How do you have that?" "It belongs to you now. Your mother gave it up so that you might live. But the price was great. You are not ordinary, Adana. You see the dead in your dreams, do you not?" Adana nodded, trembling. "They speak to me sometimes, but no one believes me." Ajay stepped forward and gently pressed the pendant into her palm. Then it's time they did. Adana returned home changed. At night, she saw more than dreams. She saw shadows watching from behind windows, spirits dancing around cooking fires, and sometimes Neka herself, weeping and warning her in riddles. The village began to notice. Goats would die when Adana walked past. Infants would cry endlessly until she left the room. One child even claimed Adana's eyes glowed red under the moonlight. Soon the whispers turned into accusations. "She is a Biku, a child of the spirit world, who will bring doom. She is her mother's daughter, and her mother was a witch." No one remembered the healings. They remembered only fear. Rejected by the living, Adana embraced the only ones who welcomed her, the dead. Each night she returned to the clearing. Ajay taught her the old ways, how to read the river's voice, how to ask permission before picking a leaf, how to silence a vengeful spirit. how to tell a shadow meant no harm, and how to listen to the ancestors. But darkness grows when ignored. One year during planting season, a strange mist settled on Edu. It smelled of burnt hair and made the animals restless. Then the deaths began. First, the village head's wife, then 3 children, then the farmer whose land bordered the forest. Their bodies bore no wounds, only terror frozen on their faces. The elders gathered and consulted the oracle. The verdict: Arema has awakened. Arema was a spirit of vengeance, once banished by Nneka herself. Her power had been sealed in a ritual involving 3 bloodlines, Nneka being the last. With Nneka gone, the seal was broken. The village, now desperate, was told only one could confront Arema, a child born between the living and the dead, who had walked both realms. They came crawling to Adena. "Please forgive us, daughter of Nneka," the elders pleaded, falling to their knees. "You cast me aside, called me curse, left me in the hands of those who hated me," Adana replied. "Why should I help you?" "Because if you do not," Ajay whispered from the shadows behind her, "they will all die, and the forest will not mourn them." That night, Adana stood at the edge of the village with her mother's pendant around her neck, her body painted in white chalk. The entire village watched as she walked alone into the mist. In the heart of the forest, under the ghost tree, Arema waited, a towering figure of bones, shadow, and the weeping faces of her victims. "You are your mother's seed," Arema hissed. "She bound me. I shall break you." Adana held out her hands and began to chant, not in the words of her own, but in the tongue of the ancestors. The trees joined her. The wind swirled. The pendant glowed like fire. The battle was not of fists, but of wills. Arema clawed into Adana's mind with images of pain, abandonment, loneliness, but she stood firm. "You cannot take what I have already lost," Adana said through gritted teeth. "But I will not lose what my mother have died to protect." With one final cry, she cast the pendant into Arema's chest. The spirit screamed as the pendant burst into white fire, releasing a shock wave that swept through the forest. Arema vanished. The mist lifted, the sun rose, the dead were at peace, and Adu changed. No longer was Adana the cursed child. She was the Anye Ozu, the messenger, the bridge between spirits and the people, the one who walks the border and listens to both sides. They built her a home at the center of the village. Children came to her for blessings. Mothers brought her offerings. Even Mama Ifoma came weeping with guilt, but Adana forgave her, because that is what the strong do. The moral of this story is, pain does not make you weak. Loneliness does not make you cursed. Sometimes it is the forgotten, broken, and feared who are chosen to bring healing. The ones closest to the spirit realms are often the ones who understand what the living has forgotten. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching our story. We do appreciate it. If you like this story, please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel so that we're able to bring you more stories like this. Thank you for watching Afro Tales.